Today we are going to use notes to hopefully keep us organized. So I actually did this whole presentation in notes. So that way, I don't know if the screen is super big or not, but I'm just sharing my iPad. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new note. So and I have lots of links in here. So I'm going to just tap on the links, but then I'm also going to show you how to do it. So, and I can share hopefully this document maybe. That way you can see all these links that are created. So by clicking here, it's going to actually take me to a site that shows you how to do it. But I'm going to actually show you how to do it as well. But what I did is I was able to create links for all of these things. So the first thing you want to do is you want to um, go to the Notes app. So let me just do that. So I'm going to go to the Notes app. So in order to find notes, you put your finger in the middle of the screen, and then you scroll down, and then you look for notes. And the notes looks at right here. Um, it's the first one on my thing. So it says notes. And let me see if I can annotate. I'll annotate. So let me spotlight things. So I don't know if I'm spotlighting it. Can you see the spotlight on my screen? So that's what you want to do is you want to click on notes. So I'm going to do a new note. So in order to do a new note, you have to click on this little arrow here. And it's like a little check mark. So I'm going to do a new note. And I have a blank screen for a new note. So the first thing you type in your note is going to be the name of your note. So maybe you might want to type it using notes. Oh, so let me put a space there. Using notes. So that's going to be the name of my new note, or you can go to notes. I'm going to go over here to notes. And I just created a new note. You can see it's right now it's organized by when I did it. So today, so I just created that. So using notes. So the nice thing about notes is you can do lots of different things. It's super easy to format. Um, so I'm going to use let's see, I'm going to use this little button here. Let me annotate again. So I'm going to use where it says A. So that's how you can format it. So I'm going to click on the A. And it's really nice because it's already formatted. So let's say I want to make using notes my title. So I'm going to click on that. And then I'm just going to make that my title, and it's already bolded. If I wanted to italicize it, I can do that, or underline it, but you have to highlight what you want. So in order to highlight it, you just highlight it, and then, sorry. And then you can say format, and I want to bold it or italicize it, or maybe I want to underline it. And you can also do that under the A button. So let's say I wanted to have a subheading, formatting. So I'm going to type the word format, and then I'm going to just put my cursor there, and I'm going to change, oops, I'm going to make that a subheading. Notice that my subheading, when I chose subheading, it automatically bolded it. Let's say I want to make that a heading. So it's already designed for you. So it makes it really nice, and you don't have to do much because it's already formatted. So
I'm
I'm going to
sorry,
go,
Kathy, how are you highlighting?
how am I highlighting?
Yeah,
Um,
very
so what,
basic, stupid question. Sorry.
so you have to, you can stretch it out. So let me, let's say I want to highlight this note. So I'm double clicking and then
Okay.
it comes up
Oh, okay. Okay,
and
thank
then
you.
I'm stretching it out using
Okay.
notes. Okay.
Okay.
And then I
Perfect.
can
Thank
push
you.
format. I can cut it. I can, let's say I don't want to use that. I can cut it out. I can copy it, um, copy and paste. So that's pretty easy. So I'm going to go
Okay.
back and I'm going to go back to my pinned agenda. So creating a new note. Now, the other thing is once you start using notes, you want to be able to find what you're looking for. So in order to search your notes, you have to go to all of your notes. So I'm going into this, let me use my highlighter again. Um, my highlighter. So I'm going into notes and so I have all my notes. So now I'm going to notice there's a search section here. There's a search bar. So I'm going to go there. And let's say I want to search for, you can search shared notes. You can search for notes with checklists. So you can search by category, notes that have tags, notes that have drawings, notes with scanned documents, and notes with attachments. So you can search that way, or you can just do a word search. So I was doing some things on quick notes. So I'm going to type in quick notes. And so all my notes that have oh, quick notes in it will show up. So these are all my notes about quick notes. Because if you see, I have like 70 notes on my iCloud. I have another 45 in my MSU account. I have some on my iPad. I have them all over the place. So unless you organize your stuff correctly, it's going to be hard to find your notes. But by doing a search, it makes it really nice. So notice then when I did the search, it's pulling up, it's identifying the words, the highlighted words that it looked for. So it looked for notes, just the word notes. So I'm going to put parentheses around quick notes and only the things that say quick notes will show up. So these are all the ones that say quick notes. So it filtered it a little bit more. So you could also search within a note. So I'm going to go to my pinned notes. Um, and maybe I want to search, maybe this is a really, really long note, and I want to search just within this note. So I could use the three dots. Let me do the three dots here. And I can search within this note, find in note. So maybe I want to notice that at the bottom, it says find at the bottom down here. So now I can search just within this note. And maybe I want to search, I'm going to using tags and noticing how it's highlighting as I'm typing. Oh, right, using tags. So it was easy for me to find it within that note. So that makes finding things super easy. Now with notes, let me go back. Um, you can do so many things. As you see right here, you can create simple agendas. So you can, like I said, you can change the fonts of these things. So keep on pushing this full screen. Let me close that. Oh, close the whole note. Um, okay, there it is. So you could add bullets. Let's say I want to add another bullet here. So I just do the A button and notice I can add bullets, I can add numbers, I can increase my indent, I can decrease my indent, I can italicize, underline, subscript. So you can do all kinds of things within the formatting. And so it made it really easy to create this agenda. You can just jot down simple notes. So as you're often if you have an iPhone, you have notes on your iPhone as well, in case you don't have your iPad with you. I do that all the time. Like I will be with my friends and they'll talk about a movie that they saw that I should watch. So I would just write down that movie. Or maybe you have a great idea for a program and you just want to jot down a quick note. So it's just super easy to add a new note just using this little um this right here is then you just add a whole new note and then you can jot down some ideas. I like using it also to create lists. So in order to do that, you would go here to the where it says a check mark. It's right here. So like for instance, I created a supply list of things that I needed for different programs. So whenever I'm doing a technology program, like what do I want to bring with me? So I'm going to want to bring all these different things. So extension cords, extra chargers, surge protector, projector, Sphero card if I'm using Spheros. Notice how some of mine have check marks on it. Um, if I undo it, it won't move it to the bottom. But let's say I'm creating this list and I'm trying to gather my supplies together. And as I'm gathering it, I just check it off. And as I check it off, it goes down to the bottom. So that way I know I still have to get these other things. So I thought that was a really cool feature that as you gather your things, it's moving it down to the bottom so you don't have to worry about it. So supply lists. So you can use this for to-do lists. You know, what do you have to do today? So we can create a new, let's do a new note. And we can create a to-do list to do today. And so what do I want to do today? What do I need to do today? Gotta move this thing out of the way here. Typing mode. Oh, there we go. So now I'm going to make a list. So I needed to prepare for this lesson and review it. Prepare for lesson. So I write down stuff on little post-it notes all the time, but rather than doing that, you can just do it in your notes. And then you get that same satisfaction of checking it off just in the Notes app. So I'm checking it off and I'm done. So that's always nice. So let me go back. Oh my goodness. Let me go back to my notes. I'm able to find these really fast, and I'm going to show you a little bit later in the presentation how I was able to find these so fast. Um, So another thing you can do is maybe you wanted to add a photo to to your notes. So in order to do that, I sort of wrote out the instructions. So you tap your camera. So your camera is right next to the little thing. So there's a camera. So I'm gonna add a photo here. So I'm gonna go to photo and I I'm gonna add a photo that I've already taken. So choose photo or video. So it's going to take me to my photos and my videos, and I'm going to add my little emoji, and I'm going to add it. And now I got this little emoji in here. So that's pretty big. So I don't really want that to be that big. So I'm going to, oops,
What if we don't have that photo icon?
hmm. It could be, I'm going to share this as little instead of so large. So you can customize your toolbar. So maybe that could be an issue. So if you go to those three dots right here, these three dots, so I'm going to click on the three dots and it says customize toolbar. So like if I didn't want my photos to be on here, I can get rid of it. Does that give you the photo to then add to it?
No, it doesn't have that option. I wonder if I don't have like a camera option on this or
You have one that looks like a picture.
no.
Because
Huh.
mine looks
Who
like a
was that? Is
picture
that
and
you,
it says
Jessica?
add files media.
Yeah.
So even when you type in a new note, if you add a new note, because it's automatic for me, like I'm doing a new note, and those
Yeah, I
are
started a
automatic
new
thing.
note. I'll have to play with it. Maybe my camera is disabled or something.
It could be. Um, you might need to go into settings, maybe. Um, if you go into settings, um, so notes, let's see if that's an option. Or maybe under settings for your camera, let's see if that's an option.
I'll play with it. Sorry, I didn't
Okay,
mean
all
to
right. Yeah, that's
derail.
okay. I was just and maybe I can work with you after, okay? Because that I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
Um, okay, so I'm gonna go back to notes.
Kathy,
Yep.
how did you minimize your picture?
Oh, okay, let me do that again. So let me go back to using notes. So I'm gonna click on that picture again. I did a hard touch and see how it says view as. Right now, it's view as small, or I can make it view as large. So now it's
Oh,
big again.
okay, thanks. I missed
Mhm.
that part.
So I'm going to make it small again, view as small, just so it doesn't take up so much room. Okay, another cool thing that you can do is you can scan text and documents. So that's also through the photo. So if you click on photo, you can scan text. So I'm going to try. I'm not sure how it's going to work with me being on um, Zoom, but let's see if I can do it. So scan text. So now automatically a picture. Let me see if I can. Let me let me just scan something on my other computer. Um, so I don't know if you're noticing it has a bracket when I scan it. So I gotta just my hands are it's hard for me to hold. Let me move you guys out of the way. I'm gonna minimize you for a second. Okay, so now I'm gonna scan again. So there's brackets. Now I would just hit insert, and that's then it inserts the I did it right. It'll insert it right into your note. So let's do that again. Tap, scan text, find nearby text, and I'm going to insert it. Did it insert at the end? Oh, see how it's inserting it at the end? So what I just did is I scanned it and now it went down to the bottom of my note. So that way you don't even have to type. You can just scan it.
That feature is helpful when you're sitting in a presentation and you like content on somebody's slide instead of taking a picture that you'll never really use again. If you scan the text, you can actually pull the text into your note and
Yeah.
then it's searchable.
And then it's a searchable thing. So that's another thing. And it's similar. You can also then scan a document. So it's the same thing. You would just take a photo, go to the photo, and then you would scan document. So let's say I had a, All right, let's scan a document. I don't have a document handy. Scan document. So I'm gonna just scan my screen. So it's going to, I'm gonna take a photo, took a picture of it. Now I can save it, save that scanned document. And see if it added it to. So it did, where did I save it? Let's see. It's probably in my photos, I would imagine, a scan document. Okay, ready for next scan, save. Oh, it keeps on, it's going to keep on scanning, but that way you can then save your scan documents, and then that way you can access them as well. Okay, another cool thing that I've used often is when I'm teaching in class, I often have links that I want to share with the group. So if I just write them down on one note, then I can airdrop that note to the kids. So like for instance, I was doing a program called Be Your Own Boss. I was teaching entrepreneurship, and each one of these is a link. So that way I could then airdrop this to all the kids, and then that way they have those links for all of the things that I wanted them to access. So then these are just links to websites. So this was some games that we did and so forth on one of my programs. All right, so let me go back to my notes. So what I did for this particular note is I pinned it to the top. In order to pin a note, you use the three dots right here again, and you click on it, and at the very top it says scan, and now this one's pinned, so I can unpin it. But I wanted to pin it. But so if you're using a note on a regular basis, you can pin it. So that way it makes it easily accessible. So another cool thing with notes to organize them, because you might take a ton of notes, is one way to do it is by using tags. So, so let's take our new note, or let's just take a note that I just did. Okay, so I'm going to go to my notes. So today, I created this, and now I want to create a tag for this. You know, these are things that I had to do today. So I'm going to add, all you do is add a hashtag, and I'm going to call it to-do list, to-do list. And then you got to return it, and then it turns yellow. So now I have a tag called to-do list. So when I'm going into my searchable area, you'll notice on the bottom, I have tags. So like I have a tag for lunch and learn. So I can click on this tag, and all the notes that I have for lunch and learn are right here. Or, you know, Apple Learning. I created a tag for Apple Learning. Well, I guess right now I'm highlighting both of them. So it's looking for tags that have Apple Learning and Lunch and Learn, which there isn't any. So I'm going to just, if I do just the Apple Learning, it's my link to the Apple Learning site. So you can choose more than one tag to do a search. So another cool thing, let me see if people are asking questions. I gotta look at my chat here. All right. So I'm going to go back to my Lunch and Learns, and I'm going to show you about creating folders because that's another way of organizing your stuff. So in order to create a new folder, you'll notice at the bottom here, I'm going to use my little scanner again, my spotlight. The very bottom, the bottom left corner it looks like a folder. So you can add a new folder. So where do I want to put it? Do I want to put it on my iPad or in the iCloud? So let's say I want to create a new folder for my iPad. So I'm going to be doing a program on photography coming up. So maybe I want to create a folder for that class. So I'm going to call it photography. So done. So notice now I have on my iPad a new folder because that's where I told I wanted to put it. So I could click on this and maybe I want to make this a smart folder. And so the three dots at the top here, you can click on that. And it'll ask you, do you want to convert this to a smart folder? And what happens with a smart folder is I'm going to just do it, convert it to, once you do it, you can't redo it. So I'm just going to convert it. And now any note that I do in photography, so let me find my note. Photography. Notice how there's a little gear there. That means it's a smart folder. So let's say I want to add a new note to this photography. And I'm going to do a new note. So, and I want to call it maybe resources. And I'm going to look for stuff on the web to add to this folder. So I would have to maybe find something. Photography. I'll look in the Apple Learning Center. And I'm going to search for photography. Photography and iPad. Okay, so this might be a good resource. So I'm going to click on here. And I am going to add this. So I use the sharing button right here. And I am going to add this. I can add it to a quick note or I can add it to notes. So I'm going to add it to notes. So I now have a new note with that link right there. And so I'm going to save it. But where am I going to save it? I'm going to save it, choose a note or folder. And I'm going to save it in my photography folder. You first have to actually just save it. So I'm just going to save it in my notes. Okay, so save. So I'm going to go to that note now. And I'm going to move it. I'm going to move this note. I'm going to use the three dots and I'm going to move the note. When it's a smart folder, it's often, it automatically tags things. That's what makes a smart folder a smart folder. So I'm going to just type in photography. So I want to move this document into my smart folder. I should be able to. Hmm. Oh, you know what? Smart folders have to be on your your iCloud. So I would have to move this to my iCloud. That's what was going on. I'm sorry. I forgot. Um, so I'm going to move this folder to my iCloud. So now it's in my iCloud, and now I can move it to a smart folder. So then I can move it here. Oh, all right. Wow, we're going over here. So a few other things I wanted to share. When you make something a smart folder, all of those notes are tagged. So if I go to all of these notes, like supply list, you'll notice there's the same tag, lunch and learn, scan text and documents, lunch and learn. So that way, everything in there is automatically tagged for you. So that's the cool thing about making something a smart folder, because it's automatically tagged, and that tag brings it into that folder. One last thing, and then we're going to be done. There's another thing called Quick Notes. And basically, with Quick Notes, what makes it is you can add links and text from different websites, and you can just anchor them into a quick note. So that way, and it creates this thumbnail. Like this is right here is an example of a quick note. So for instance, if I go to, let's just go anywhere. Let me go to scanning text and documents into notes. If I go here when I want to share it, one of the options is add to a quick note. So then what happens is on your notes, I now have that as a quick note. What is a quick note? I just added that, it's right here, what I just added. So just easy reference. Any questions? I know I went pretty fast. Anybody want to share how they've used notes?
I use notes as my brain.
Okay, yeah.
Just think like I gave the example of my grant funds. So I had several different grants, so I always have those fund numbers
Oh,
because I can't
yeah.
remember them. So I just copy paste when somebody's requesting those that are there or things that I need to remember. So sometimes notes are short term for, like you said, what I need to bring to tomorrow's presentation, and sometimes they're long term. I use them over and over again.
Yeah. I
Because
do
you can
want
also collaborate with a note. So I have a note that I collaborate with my wife
to,
with
okay.
like, here's things that we need to talk about, or here's things we need to pick up this weekend, or and we both can add to the list. So you can share or text a note to someone.
Nice, nice. Because yeah, like on the share button, you can share it. You can share it with a person. You can actually open it in pages. So you could take that note and it can become a page, where then you can edit it some in addition to other things. You can assign it to a contact. You can mark it up. You can save it to your files. So you can do a lot of different things. And I do it often with airdropping when I'm doing a program. Like when I've created an agenda, I can airdrop it to all the iPads. So everybody has the agenda right in front of them. So that's a nice thing. I am going to click on this. So anytime we do a training, we ask for demographic data. So if you could maybe do a QR code, scan the QR code, and then that way we're just asking for demographics if you don't work for MSU. Any other questions, or maybe I can go over something? Yeah, I mean, it's really super helpful. And it could just be, you just want to jot down an idea and then you can just save it to a folder. I think using the folders and using the tags is really probably one of the key takeaways to help you keep organized. Maybe you have a different classes, you can just tag them and call each class by a different name, and then you can put your resources, your agenda, your supply list, everything that you need for that class.
I use notes on my iPhone. Like I'm a birder, so I'll write down all the birds I saw. But I
Okay.
had no idea you could do all this organization stuff.
Yeah, I mean it really is cool. And I mean you can scan things, you can add photos, you can add videos, you can, all kinds of fun stuff. And it's pretty simple. It's one of the simplest apps, I think, to use.
You can also use your Apple Pencil
Oh yeah, for
to
sure.
write instead of type something if you're using it on your iPad, and then it could convert your writing to text, or it can leave it as a handwritten thing. So even just sketching something out. Um,
Yeah, so you would just for that, you would go to this pencil area right here, this pencil, and let's say I wanted to add some additional stuff to it. And now you have that little pencil, and now I have my, I want to just have a great day. Or you could draw. So I'm going to stop recording. Did I even start recording? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Okay.